Do you worry where the next lead is coming into your business? And do you depend on just word of mouth marketing, maybe sitting in pre anticipation, waiting for the next email or for the next lead to come through social media? If you are in this situation, this podcast is specifically for you. Hi, my name is Adam Strong, and welcome to this week's podcast of the Business Strategist. Today, I want to share with you guys about how I'm going to share with you some ideas and, well, not just ideas, but actual business strategies, lead generation strategies about how you can, what you can use that you can take from our business and put into your own business. So if you're looking at generating more leads in your business, if you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, if you are worried about where the next lead is coming from, or if your business just depends on word of mouth marketing and referrals, then guess what? This is definitely the show that you need to listen to. First of all, without leads, you have no sales. Without sales, you cannot grow the business. You cannot scale the business. So every business must depend on a good generation of highly qualified leads coming in. And really kind of where that boils down to is really understanding the key problems that you're trying to solve for your ideal clients. And once you really understand their problems, their fears, their pain points, and what keeps them up at night, then you can start to create different lead magnets that serves different audiences. When I say different audiences, so in our story, for example, in our business, we focus specifically on professional services. We understand their problems, we understand their challenges, we understand their pain points. There's you guys that are listening in effectively. One of the biggest things that I would like to share with you is for many, many years, we struggled as a business to really attract really good high quality leads and have consistent leads coming in all the time. Struggled so much. And I think it was a combination of a number of things. Combination number one was I now pinpoint that down to understanding that not all lead magnets are going to appeal to everybody. And I think what it was is a lot of trial and error and a lot of experimentation to see what's working, what doesn't work. But also marketing is ever changing all the time. With that, bearing that in mind, I'm going to share with you guys about what we're doing in our business and some examples of other businesses that also offer some sort of lead magnet that helps generate sales and new customers and clients. So lead magnets, they come into what I call 4 different CAT classifications. First classification is a software offering. Then you've got information. So what I'm about to share with you on this podcast is information, of course, it's education. Number 3 is services. And number 4 is physical products. So we put lead magnets into one of 4 different categories. We're dabbling in 3 of those 4 verticals. But what we're going to do, I'm going to share with you guys about what I mean by different lead magnets for different verticals. So if we look at software, for example, now software programs, packages, the best way to create is offer a free trial. It could be a 14-day trial. It could be a 7-day trial. And what you want to do is you want to give full access, okay, for a set period of time. So it gives people a taste before they actually commit to whatever the monthly subscription is or whatever the commitment is in order to get that, okay? So for example, if you have a VPN, a lot of VPNs may offer like a 7-day trial, or it might be, for example, we use a software company called ScoreApp, which helps generate, where we can create surveys and quizzes for our clients. And they give a 30-day trial away for free. Zoom is another example of a software program. They have a free package where you can get up to 40 minutes of free recording for free, and you can do that as many times as you want. So the purpose of giving something away, like as a trial, giving people a bit of a taster, it's a little bit like if you were looking at purchasing a car. You wouldn't just walk into a car showroom, and say, I want that car, unless you'd extensively researched it, test drived it, and you know exactly specifically what you're looking for. But generally what would happen When you walk into a showroom, generally you would test drive the car before you make a commitment. And in fact, some car retailers, they'll even offer you the car to try it out for a weekend. So you're getting a bit of a feel for it. So you get everything, full access for a limited period of time. Tip number 2, when it talks about information, okay? Information or education. So this podcast is information, it's free. So when we think about information, so for example, send a copy of your book. But once you've engaged in a lead and you're having some conversations, whether it be on social media or through your email or whatever it is, find out specifically what they would like. Would they like access to your book? Would they prefer a digital copy, or would they prefer an audiobook version? Me, I'm more of an audiobook version. So if someone sends me an audiobook, I guarantee that I will listen to it. Whereas a physical book, I'm not much of a reader. So find out specifically what of those 3 copies appeals to your audience. So that's an offering of an information product. Another great information product that we've actually created recently is that we effectively took one of our most downloadable podcasts, which was all about how to create clarity in your business strategy. What we did with that is we actually turned it into a playbook or an ultimate guide for those that are struggling with clarity. So we turned it into a playbook. There are loads of tasks and activities and homework. You can listen to the audio version as well. So I encourage people to listen to audio as well as working through the workbook at the same time. And then at the end of it, it's kind of like a one-step to a multi-step process. You get a bit of a taster and you get a bit of an idea. And it's free. You don't have to sign up to it. You get an idea about how I operate, how I work, and the type of and the details that you can actually get access to. So that's, again, another example of an information product. One thing that we're doing right now is that we're running a series of webinars and masterclasses. Now, webinars and masterclasses are a great way to educate your audience about understanding their key problems or highlighting a problem that they may not have heard about, but now you're making them aware about it. And what you're doing is you're in our case, what I did is I walked through a case study of a client of ours that was struggling to scale her business. And so I was walking through the 5-step methodology and talking about the common pitfalls and how you could apply that same methodology to your own business. So again, it's education. You don't have to sign up for it. There's no emails that's needed. There is a call to action, of course, but it's just a great way to build trust through lead magnets. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to give people a quick win, and you're trying to show that you can earn their trust through the education that you're giving them, through the content that you're delivering to them. So the next thing I want to talk about is services. So services is effectively working for free. It might be for a set period of time. It might be because the other person that wants to work with you lacks social proof. So they want to be able to show what they can do for you. So for example, right now we're working with a guy right now who's helping us with our marketing. He doesn't have a huge amount of experience, but as part of that, I can see there's potential in this chap. We're working together as a team. He's offering his services for free. He's going to generate some leads for our business. He's going to show us what he can do. And at the end of it, if he can generate what he says he can generate, then guess what? We will probably work out a way in which we can bring him on full time. If you're new to the game of business and you're struggling with leads, one of the best ways that you can do is to work for people for free. Great for experience, great for social proof, because again, social proof increases your credibility and authority. And once you have more credibility and authority, guess what? You can command and you can generate leads much more easily. But also, when it comes to sales as well, sitting down with a potential client makes it so much more easier to be able to convert them. Because guess what? Well, trust is already been built, but also they can see what other people are saying about you. Because remember, what people say about you is 10 times more powerful than you saying things about yourself. So that's services, that's working for free, especially if you're new, if you maybe come out of university, or if you just started up your new business and you're struggling to find out where to generate new leads. Guess what? Find out who your ideal client is, get an extensive idea about their their problems and pain points, reach out to a few people and come up and just say, listen, hey, I'm offering my services for free in exchange for social proof or a testimonial. Are you looking to generate more leads? Are you looking to do whatever it is, whatever the problem they're trying to solve with? Okay. So that's a really cool way of doing things. The other thing as well, this is just a really great way to get access to your market as well, is to sponsor an event where your ideal clients hang out. So, for example, if you're a financial advisor and you focus and you target high net worth individuals, then guess what? Why don't you go and sponsor maybe a golf event or a country club event or a polo event? You sponsor those events in exchange for access to the database, but also you may do a 10 to 15 minute presentation where you would showcase what you guys do. And, it's obviously got to be worth it on paper to make sure that you're justifying the cost to sponsor that event, of course. But I always found that by sponsoring an event, where you can get instant access to your ideal clients. If you sponsor an event, normally you only need one lead or one paying client that pays for that event plus more. Yes, of course, there's an element of risk, but ultimately, it's just a great way to get instant access to your key target market. The other thing I was going to say to you as well is email marketing as well. Email marketing is so powerful. One of the things that we're doing right now is we're continuing to nurture our list. I would say for every week we lose a few, but also we gain a few. We're not going to be appealing against it for everybody. Don't get too kind of like choked up when people unsubscribe from your list for whatever reason, because guess what? Most of us get at least 1,500 emails a day. Well, I certainly do. So don't get emotionally attached. It just means that you're not right for them, and that's okay. There's plenty more people out there, plenty more fish in the sea. The other thing I was going to say to you as well, one of the things that what I did actually when I was about 20 years ago, when I was in the world of high sports performance, is to think. So when I think about diagnosis, I think about what I used to do, which was improve sports performance. So one of the things that I did as part of this is I would give away what I call gait analysis. So it would basically assess people how they walk, which would then translate how they would run. So the idea is that I would help them to improve their marathon times, their 10K running times, or whatever it might be. But in order to do that, I needed to get an understanding of how their body moved, what could we do to prevent injuries. So we'd use a gait analysis to help diagnose that, and then give people a series of exercises that would help correct some of what we call dysfunction within the body. It would help people. So instantly, people are getting a bit of a taster to understanding that if I fix this certain problem, okay, and it feels good, they're more mobile, therefore they feel more looser. They feel like they can see there's a difference between an improvement in their stride pattern, for example. If they can see that just after one session, think of what they're going to do. And it's also, if I'm training for a marathon, for example, and I go to someone that specializes in that, and I can see an instant improvement, I'm then curious. I'm like thinking to myself, okay, well, imagine what he can do or they can do if I was to continue my work with this person. So you're giving them a bit of a taster. So I wanted to give you an example of that. The other example is one step of a multi-step offering, for example. So you're in the world of management consultancy. You help organizations with improving employee engagement or leadership, as an example. So you may have, say, a 7-step methodology or 5-step process or whatever it might be. You may give one step away for free to give people an idea about what that looks like. But in order to continue, then they have to pay for the next steps. Does that make sense? So it's one of many different steps. You're giving the first step away for free. And then in order to move forwards and in order to get the results that they desire, it's chargeable based on what your offer is. Okay. And the last thing that I mentioned that I haven't mentioned so much is physical products. So let me give you an example here. Actually, great example of this is a good friend of mine, who has become a good friend of mine, actually. So I get so many people pitching for my podcast, like so many in terms of agents and stuff. I had a chap that reached out to me, and they're like, "Hey, so I'm interested in doing jamming with you on the podcast, but before I pitch you, I'd like to send you a gift." So you can go and get to know me and I can get to know you and add some value on that. Great, fantastic. What's your mailing address, he says. So I send him my mailing address and then he delivers this box. And in the box, there is a series of books, there's a series of activities and tasks. I think there was a DVD, some sticky notes, a pen, or whatever it is, but it's a physical product. And it's just a great way to introduce themselves, but it's a great way to build trust. Because what am I inclined to do? I'm inclined to reciprocate. I'm inclined to reach out. I'm inclined to think to myself, okay, well, this guy clearly knows my core values, clearly knows that I love gifts. What can you do to your key target market? So if you're in skincare, if you're in beauty, if you have a food product, for example, can you give something away for free, post it for free, or whatever it might be, so that people can get a bit of a taste of your physical product, so they can get an idea of your physical product, how it works, how it feels to them. So you probably get for example, if you have a physical product, you might get like a sample size. It's another great offering. Oh, and I forgot to mention one other thing as well, is affiliates. Affiliates is a great way to generate leads, by the way, ladies and gents, and they can be in competing or non-competing industries. Now, if they're in competing industries, that's not a problem, because guess what? For example, if you are a management consultant, financial advisor, whatever it is, generally, if you focus in something specific within your vertical of whatever discipline that you have, your person that is competing with you, they may focus on something specifically. If you're a family lawyer, but you may have a client inquiry that may need some help with immigration. Well, maybe you know an immigration lawyer. So what can you do as a partnership or an affiliate scheme that can help generate leads for both businesses? Now, we look at non-competing affiliates as well. So again, looking at ways in which you can get access to your key target market, of course, but they could be in a completely different industry. For example, I may have access to a lot of people in professional services. Now, a great referral for us in a non-competing business will be an accountant, because an accountant can refer us business because we know that we can help other accountants, but also help other businesses. So there is an extra added value perk to their service. So again, another way to generate great leads. So in summary, let's just summarize what we've talked about. We've talked about 4 different types of leads, four different verticals. We've got software, we've got information, we've got physical products, and we've got services. I talked a little bit about trials. I've talked a little bit about giving people absolutely full access for a set period of time. I talked a little bit about in information, for example, it could be a masterclass or a webinar, and you're walking people through. It could be a case study. It could be that you're offering a playbook or an ebook of some sort. Okay. Then you've got services. So working for free in exchange for social proof. What can you do especially if you're new in the game, if you don't have any social proof or testimonials, guess what? Great way to get those things or get access to those testimonials and social proof is to work for free, maybe for a set period of time, maybe until that problem can get an idea, maybe that person get an idea about what you actually solve. And then the other thing is physical products. So for example, if you sell physical products on, say, Amazon Marketplace, say it could be a yoga mat, for example. Well, there's loads of yoga mats on sale on Amazon Marketplace. But what could you add extra value where instead of competing on price, you compete on value? So if, for example, if you added a free guide of different yoga postures and a free video to go along with it with the yoga mat for the same price as all the other yoga mats, then who's going to win? You're going to win because you're actually adding further value, which generates more leads. And then I talked a little bit about affiliates in competing and non-competing industry, who can give you access to those things. So anyway, listen, guys, hope that this has helped generate some ideas. Hope this has generate some new leads. Just make sure that you have to make sure that the lead that you generate, the lead magnet that you create, matches to the audience that you're trying to target. So like I said to you, for many years, I generated loads of lead magnets, but guess what? They just didn't generate enough leads because they just weren't suitable for my audience. So now we have now kind of gone through the massive experimentation. We know what works. We know what doesn't work. and we know what's trending and what can really help people shift the needle. So bear that in mind, ladies and gents. Hope this has given you some epiphanies, and hope this has given you some food for thought. Hopefully, I'd love to see what lead generation activities, and hopefully you'll become a lead generation magnet for your ideal clients. Anyway, from me, Adam Strong, hope you're well. Take care and see you soon. Cheers.